Hey, welcome to Life Point. I'm so glad that you're here tonight. And I just wanted to give a recap. Just finished the first service. And today we talked about David and Bathsheba, really focused mainly on Bathsheba. And what a pivotal time and a pivotal experience, a thing that happened to David, his family, his kingdom, because of the encounter that he had with Bathsheba. We talked a little bit about Bathsheba, and we talked about what the Bible tells us about her. Not a whole lot that we know about her, but David had an affair with her. And the question everyone asks is, who was the one at fault? Who did it? Did David rape her? Was she at fault? Did she lure him in? And I tend to think there was a little bit of both. There was a little bit of mixture. And we talked about Bathsheba today. Next week we're going to talk about David. So it's going to be mainly directed at the guys. But there's so much that we can learn from this situation with Bathsheba. And because the Bible doesn't really describe and explain everything, there's a lot of things we have to kind of dig a little deeper to understand. And some of the things I think that we need to look at is just the indiscretion that possibly took place in Bathsheba's life, and just, she was bathing out in the open, and whether that was a cultural thing or not, maybe there was some indiscretion, and I think we can learn so much from that. And I took today and really talked to the ladies, and for those ladies that are in the group, maybe you can talk about that. Talk about discretion, and we talked about not using your body to attract a guy, because if that's what you use to attract a guy, you're gonna attract some bottom feeders. You're gonna get what you are luring in, and you don't want to do that. And so talk about that in your group. Talk about discretion and how you can be more discreet. And then we talked about how sometimes, if you've got a young daughter, sometimes we live vicariously. Sometimes ladies will live vicariously through their daughters and just dress them up real cute. And that's where, we need to really apply some discretion and be careful of what we're setting them up for as well in life. And then we talked about, maybe the fact that Bathsheba was lonely. Maybe she was unfulfilled, and because of her husband, he was very addicted to his work, very faithful to it, great soldier, but not really there for her. And maybe because of that loneliness and that emptiness, she fell into a trap and felt that, enjoyed that attention that she was getting from the king. Maybe that's what happened, partly. But I think also what could have happened was the fact that David took advantage of his authority and pressured her into that sexual relationship. And no matter how it happened, and bad things came about. And so we talked about that, all that stuff. And then we talked about forgiveness a little bit. We're going to get into that more later, but just, if maybe you're guilty of some of that. Maybe you're guilty of indiscretion. Maybe you're guilty of living vicariously through your daughter, or just not being careful, or and maybe the guys that are in the room, maybe they're guilty of using their authority in situations to pressure the opposite sex. And whatever it is, God allows forgiveness. He gives forgiveness, and He allows second chances. And so talk about that stuff, and talk about God's second chances, and it's going to definitely be an interesting discussion, I'm sure, in Life Point. So God bless. Have a great week.